The 6 basic exercises, the 6 inner muscles that change everything. These are the push-ups, the pull-ups, the squats, the core work for your mind. You do physical exercise to shape your body. These shape your mind. Look, I assume everybody wants the light. Everybody wants clarity. Everybody wants peace. Everybody wants awakening, downloads, breakthrough. But very few people want the training. Not hype, not vibes, training. That's why I love Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner wasn't interested in spiritual entertainment. He wasn't trying to collect believers. He was trying to build a human being who could actually hold higher awareness without getting unstable, without becoming ungrounded, without turning spirituality into fantasy. He was serious about this. If you're going to work with meditation, consciousness, inner development, you just don't float upward. You build a container. You build character. You build what I call a soul spine. And Steiner gives a set of practices for that. He called them the 6 basic exercises. Sometimes they're called the subsidiary exercises because they're meant to support your inner life the same way a foundation supports a house. And what's wild is this. When you really look at these 6 exercises, you realize they're not Steiner only, but they show up across ancient wisdom traditions everywhere. Buddhism, yoga, Stoicism, monarch traditions, initiation schools, different languages, same inner muscles. Because at some point, every real wisdom tradition stopped arguing beliefs and started training the human being. Not the world, not destiny. You, your attention, your choices, your emotions, your perception, your balance. Today, I want to do this like we're friends talking. I'm going to walk you through these 6 exercises in a way you can actually do them. And I'm going to connect them to the ancient parallels. And I'm going to give you stories and examples because this isn't theory. This is spirituality that can lift bricks. Spirituality, you can live one. You be your own judge. You be your own scientist. N equals you. You are the subject. Put it to the test. See how your life changes. Control of thought. Taking your mind back. Steiner starts here for a reason, because attention is the gateway. If you can't place your attention where you choose, then your life is being driven by whatever is loudest. And most of us don't realize how much our attention runs on autopilot. The mind jumps, grabs, reacts. So Steiner's first practice is gentle. And you see this everywhere. In yoga, it's concentration. In Buddhism, it's right attention. In modern science, it's called attention control. Same thing, different words. So how do you do it? You stay focused on this video till the end. But the Steiner's way is you picked one small object, one small ordinary object, a pen, a coin, a matchstick, a key. I used a pencil for many years in my training. And for 5 minutes, you stay with it. You think only about the object, what it's made of, why it exists, how it was formed, how it was used, how it got to you. And when your mind wanders, and it will, don't get mad, don't shame yourself. Simply return to the object. That returning is the training. That is focus. And over time, something shifts. You stop being pulled by every thought. You start seeing and steering. You realize attention isn't something you have. It's something you train. And once you realize that, you realize something even deeper. Attention isn't just focus. Attention is creation. Where your attention goes, your life goes. Control of will, the second exercise. Becoming cause again. Then comes choice. And this is ancient. Every serious tradition trains will. Stoics, monks, initiation schools. Not what do you believe, but can you act deliberately? Steiner understood if you can't choose and follow through, your inner world has no backbone. You become a leaf in the wind. So this exercise is small and powerful. How to do it? Choose one small deliberate action you do every day, same time, same rhythm. You may set an alarm at first, but the idea is not to look at the clock. And you do something neutral. You water the same plant. You walk around the block. You light a candle. You do 5 push-ups. You write 1 sentence. You clean 1 small space. A mentor of mine, she said she would touch each ear with the opposite hand, and she would try to do that before lunch every day. And not because it's urgent, but not because someone asked, not because you should, because you decided. And slowly, quietly, something powerful happens. You start trusting yourself again. You start feeling, I can decide, and then follow through. That feeling, that's your power returning. You're not just reacting to life, you're participating in it. Equanimity, staying upright inside emotion. This is where Buddhism is crystal clear. They call it equanimity, not numbness, not suppression, balance. Stoicism trains us too, not letting external events dictate your inner state. Steiner included this because here's the truth. Inner practices amplify what's already in you. So if your emotional life is chaotic, your spiritual life can get chaotic too. Equanimity is what keeps you steady. How to do it? When a strong emotion arises, pause, breathe slowly, feel it without acting on it. Don't suppress it, don't dramatize it. Let it pass through you instead of driving the car. And over time, you realize something huge. I can feel deeply without losing myself. And that steadiness changes everything. Your relationships, your decisions, your peace. There's a difference between being emotionally alive and being emotionally owned. And when I think strong emotions, I used to think it was like the negative emotions. But then as I realized, it's also the joyful, excited moments. You want that equanimity, that balance, that stoic. But you can smile and you can express. Just do it from a balanced place. Positivity. Number 4, training perception to find meaning. Now, this one is subtle and people misunderstand it. This isn't toxic positivity. Steiner didn't mean pretend everything was great. He meant train the eye to see the seed of meaning. Refuse to believe everything is meaningless. And there's a story that captured this perfectly. Goethe's story. A group of people are walking and they come across a dead dog on the road. Everybody recoils, complains, talks about how disgusting it is. And Goethe pauses and says something like, look at the teeth. What perfect structure. Now listen, he's not saying the dog isn't dead. He's not saying it doesn't stink. He's showing perspective. That there is always something you can see, a lesson, a value, a truth, even in what you don't like. Buddhism trains this through compassion practices. Modern psychology calls it reframing. Same muscle. So, how do you do it? Once a day, take something you normally label negative and ask, what can I learn here? What strength is this asking me to build? What's the hidden gift, even if it's small? Not denial, not coping, training perception. And over time, your nervous system changes. You stop collapsing in difficulty. You start standing inside it. Not because life is easy, but because you're stronger. Number 5, open-mindedness, beginner's mind, fresh perception. And this is the practice of meeting life fresh. Zen calls this beginner's mind. Steiner emphasized it because premature judgment kills perception. Most people aren't seeing reality, they're seeing their labels. So open-mindedness means dropping the reflex to label, dropping the urge to already know. Remember, the 3 most dangerous words in the human language, the English language, is I know that. How to do it? Choose one interaction per day, a conversation, a situation, and practice suspension of judgment. Listen more than you speak. Observe before concluding. Say internally, let me see what's actually here. When you do this, people surprise you. Situations reveal in layers you would have missed. Life becomes richer. You don't lose discernment. You gain depth. And this is the same method of the great natural philosophers use. Observation first, conclusion later. That order matters. Number 6, harmony, the middle path, integration, the glue, harmony. Because if you strengthen one inner muscle and neglect the others, things get lopsided. Too much thinking, not enough feeling. Too much effort, not enough rest. Too much positivity, not enough honesty. Too much openness, not enough discipline. Buddhism calls this the middle path, balance, cultivation. Steiner included harmony because overdevelopment destroys the whole being. So, how do you do it? Once a week, do a simple check-in. Where am I too rigid? Where am I too loose? Where am I overdeveloped? Where am I underdeveloped? Then gently rebalance. Harmony isn't perfection. Harmony is alignment. When your thinking, feeling, and actions pull in the same direction, life gets quieter, clearer, stronger. You stop leaking energy. Why this matters? If you are learning or teaching manifestation, prayer, mindset, leadership, learning and teaching healing, these are the under the hood mechanics. Attention, choice, emotional balance, meaning making, fresh perception, integration. This is the inner architecture of a stable human being. This is spirituality that's grounded. This is consciousness work that doesn't float away. Steiner's core insight behind all of this: if you want higher insight, you must become a stable, ethical, balanced instrument. These exercises aren't extras, they're structural. They prepare the soul to perceive more truth without distortion. This is a daily exercise, but a 6-month challenge. And if you want a simple way to live this, here it is. Take one exercise a month. Month 1, do the control of thought. Month 2, control of will. Month 3, equanimity. Month 4, positivity. Month 5, Open-mindedness. Month 6, harmony, and integrate all five. 5 minutes a day. Small, clean, real. You don't need to escape your life to do this work. You train inside it. These practices aren't flashy. They won't impress anyone at a party, but they'll change the way you show up for your life. And the best part, you don't need to wait until you're ready. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. You want a new life? Don't just chase new outcomes. Build a new inner instrument. The world you experience is filtered through the one who's doing the experiencing. Train the experiencer. Go in love and peace. I wish you wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day. Begin where you are.